6:39 now. Your Facebook story of the day. Well, being an on-air personality is no easy task and often comes with criticism from viewers.
That's right. Our meteorologist Rhonda Lee from Shreveport, Louisiana, decided to take matters into her own hands.
Now, this comes after a viewer left a racially charged comment on her station's Facebook page.
But it was her decision to stand up for herself on Facebook that ultimately cost her her job. So here's the story. This is the comment made by the viewer. This is on KTBS's Facebook page, which sparked off the whole situation. The viewer says about Lee's hair. The black lady that does the news is a very nice lady. The only thing is she needs to wear a wig or grow some more hair. Not sure if she's a cancer patient, but it's not something myself that I think looks good on TV. What about letting a male have waist-long hair do the news? What about that?
Okay, and then about 5 days later, meteorologist Rhonda Lee then responded to this comment on the Facebook page by saying, "I am the black lady to which you are referring to. I'm sorry you don't like my ethnic hair. I am very proud of my African American ancestry, which includes my hair. Traditionally, our hair doesn't grow downward, it grows upward. I'm very proud of who I am and the standard of beauty I display. Women come in all shapes, sizes, nationalities, and levels of beauty, showing little girls that being comfortable in the skin and hair God gave me is my contribution to society."
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's not just that isn't necessarily a fact. She wasn't fighting where she was saying, "Look, I'm who I am. You know, you got to accept it."
Yeah.
But the station didn't really care for that.
Yeah, the station's policy is that, you know, if there's a comment from a viewer that may seem harsh, your job as an employee is to not respond and kind of direct them to the HR manager or the PR manager, you know, and have them talk to them. You're not to directly respond. So that's why she's being fired.
Question. If they saw her comment on there, which they clearly saw her response, and because they fired her for it, then they would have had to have seen the comment. So HR should have already known about it. Like, I would think that the company was already aware of the comment because they're obviously watching the page closely and chose to not respond and say nothing.
Right. And the company actually only posted, like, they sent out an email because this was on October 1st when she made this comment. The company sent out an email on August 30th saying, you know, hey, there's been some issues with Facebook recently. You know, you guys are not to comment. Direct everything to HR. And she said that, you know, this post was up for 6 days. The station actually liked that viewer's comment.
No.
Really?
Yeah, if you go look on Facebook, the station liked that viewer's comment and liked her response.
Well, now here's the thing, kind of piggybacking off of what Alexis just said, you know, as on-air personalities, we work for TV stations, and if you're being attacked or criticized, something especially like this, I would hope that the station would have my back or be like, you know what, this is Friendly, he's a hard-working individual, you know, if he chose to have his wavy hair or whatever the situation is. But it's like to see that the station did nothing and then to know they liked it.
But let me ask you this though.
Wow.
In looking at the viewer's comment, he said it was racially charged. There was no question. He said just the hair. It could have been my hair. By spike it, things come out to here. How is that necessarily offensive? If I were a tie and the guy goes, "Man, I hate that red tie," I'm be like, "Well, you're an idiot." I
believe too, because and especially just understanding when it comes to ethnic hair, for instance, that's a really touchy issue in the African American community, especially for women, where, you know, they're told, you know, you have to have straight long hair, you have to have a relaxer, or, you know, your hair has to be a certain way. And so what happens is that when someone tries to wear it a natural way, it might be curly or so. Many other people don't like the way it looks. And so that's why for many African American women, it's very sensitive.
So it's kind of like a hot button then beyond.
And he also labeled her as being a black woman, not.
Well, I think he was only saying
to identify who she is,
her.
But he could have just said the woman on TV.
Or Rhonda
He didn't
Lee.
necessarily have to say that either.
And I just want to say too, you know, back in the day, we would just get handwritten hate mail. You know.
Absolutely.
Boy, do we miss those days.
And then still get them.
And then it was private email, and people would be complaining. And believe me, I've gotten much worse than that.
Absolutely.
Believe me. But now it's public. And so that, I think, changes the game. And I think if a company is going to go ahead and have the foresight to put a policy in place that you can't reply to it, the company should also consider the humiliation factor that goes along with, because somebody can post anything about you. I've had people say I committed acts that were heinous, rude, disgusting, and untrue. I can't remove those. They're out there. So somebody has to step in and kind of regulate. You know, if you're going to give viewers freedom,
You have to give.
but not give it to your on-air personality. Somebody's got to step in.
Yeah,
They-
because if
they
this had
do.
been an email, it would have been a whole different scenario. I mean, if she would have directly responded via email, she'd still have her job. But because it's social media,
Right.
it's like there's an issue here. Well, here's what we're asking this morning on our Watch Fox Facebook page. Do you think Lee was right to defend herself against company policy? Some comments coming in this morning. Lorraine writes, yes, she was right. It's not fair. People can be rude, and you have to sit back and take it.
Well, Cher actually has a different view, and she writes, if you have a position like that, it's best to ignore comments that have no bearing on your financial status. What can it hurt to ignore that type of comment and let the power of the comment die instead of giving it fuel? That's certainly a way to look at it as well. We'd love for you to jump in the conversation stream and post your very comment right on our Watch Fox Facebook page. You can also tweet us at #WatchGDC.